Miami from mid-September to this evening to accommodate national television. Back then, the Gamecocks were ranked only in our poll, in which they were 25th, and the New York Times, where they were 19th, right behind the Hurricanes. Neither side could have imagined it would boil down to a top 10 showdown with national title implications. And the Hurricanes had their hands full. Gamecocks on the attack. Todd Ellis drops back in the second quarter, spots Sterling Sharp over the middle, and Sharp makes a great cut down the sideline and scampers 47 yards, holds the ball aloft as his team takes a 13-7 lead. Second quarter, Canes lining up for a field goal. He missed, but he didn't even try it. It's Jeff Beagles in the fake, putting a stiff arm and taking the fake punt inside the 5. They went in to score from there, 14-13 Miami at the half. Now in the second half, Steve Walsh goes to Brian Blades, who cuts over the middle for 50 yards. Walsh 2 TDs throwing, 20-13 Canes in the lead. Now Todd Ellis dropping back and getting sacked, and some extracurricular activity late in the game. Miami had just had a fumble turned back to South Carolina, and then the tempers ensued. Both benches cleared. This went on for a couple of minutes, and it cost South Carolina a unnecessary penalty and pretty much sewed up the victory for Miami, which ends its second straight regular season unbeaten. They have now won 32 straight regular season games and hold up unbeaten for that showdown with the Sooners on New Year's Day. At Aloha Stadium, Hawaii hosting Arkansas, and even the mascot made the trip, and why not? Arkansas enjoying itself against the Rainbows, especially James Rouse, who goes in here for his second of 3 touchdowns in the day. Look at the wide eyes on John Bland, and the option saw nothing but AstroTurf ahead of them, zips right through the Rainbows, 55 yards, 38-20. Arkansas waxes the host, Hawaii. At Veterans Stadium, the greatest of rivalries, one of the most traditional, Army versus Navy, and it's a 3-0 game at half. The first touchdown didn't come till here in the fourth quarter, when Torrey Crawford is wrapped up but pitches to Andy Peterson, who gets the cannon roaring. 10-0 Army. Now it's Crawford again after Navy had answered with a field goal, going in himself on the option for 7 yards. He ends his career with a brilliant afternoon and one more cannon shot as Army wins it easily, 17-3, and comes within a game of evening this series through 88 meetings.
The question wasn't if Tim Brown would win the Heisman, but by how much. But after 3 disappointing games by Brown, the question this week returned to, would Tim Brown win the Heisman? A New York newspaper even surveyed a cross-section of the voters and actually had Syracuse's Don McPherson as the winner. But the 53rd Heisman Trophy looked to be one of the closest races in history.
It is now, once again, my privilege to announce the winner of the Heisman Trophy, the 53rd annual Heisman Memorial Trophy. He is Tim Brown of Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame's Tim Brown becomes the 7th Fighting Irish player to win the award, but the first in 23 years to do so. He took 5 of the 6 portions of the country and really dominated the voting. McPherson came in a distant second, the talented quarterback from Syracuse. Gordy Lockbaum, the two-way player from Holy Cross, a distant third. Gordy finished 5th a year ago. Lorenzo White, who led his team to the Big Ten title and the Rose Bowl appearance with USC, finished 4th. Craig Ironhead Hayward finished a distant 5th, and CNN's Tom Kirkland spoke with Tim Brown following the announcement.
The first move college football's new Superman made was to leap into this phone booth. Not to change clothes, but to take a call from the President of the United States.
All right, I appreciate that very much, sir. Thank you very much for calling. All right, bye-bye.
What does the President have to say?
Congratulate me on a good year. Sig got a chance to see me play a little bit this year.
Was that a bigger thrill than winning the award?
That is a pretty big thrill. I don't think that really sunk in yet either, but I think about that tonight. I might flip out.
Some flipped out when the final results were revealed. Brown in a blowout. Since as late as Saturday, several experts felt it would be a close vote.
I felt that Timmy would win, but I stayed optimistic and hoped that it would be close.
The 1,050 voters might have given Brown the trophy by nearly a 2-to-1 margin, but his peers, who didn't have the luxury of playing for a high-profile program like Notre Dame, were less enthusiastic.
I don't really think he had a Heisman year, but he is an outstanding player, and he's a big player for Notre Dame and a big part of why they're going to their bowl game.
Tim Brown was a candidate in August. I wasn't. Tim Brown played well all year, so did I.
Playing for Notre Dame, I mean, with the publicity and everything we get every game, each week, playing on national television, and we've already had 6 Heisman winners. I think that says a lot.
He's the 7th Notre Dame player to win this most coveted award in college football. Next season, he should become the 10th active NFL player who has won it. But if you think this award means a lot to Tim Brown now, wait till you see how much it really means to him in the spring when he signs a $1 million NFL contract. From the Downtown Athletic Club in
where coach would teach it. Set up a field goal 20-16. Now Jim Everett looked for Henry Ellert. Now I guess he's open, huh? Bobby Watkins fell down. Ellert 171 yards on the day, including this 81-yarder, and Everett and the Rams breaking it open 27-16. Best day of his pro career for Jim Everett, 324 yards. Charles White with his second exciting 1-yard run, 102 yards on the day, and brings his season total to 1,054 yards. Had under 1,400 yards for his career going into the game. And although Darryl Rogers will still be there as coach of the Detroit Lions next year, the Lions were so fired up that they went up and lost to the Los Angeles Rams 37-16. So now the Rams have won 4 straight, which brings...
10 from the 19 of the Bears. Anderson picked up 3, close to 4. Rick Finney checks into the Minnesota backfield on 2nd and 7. Bears show blitz. Here they come. Finney on the delay. Got to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, he didn't have his head up then.
3rd and 4. The Vikings will go with 4 wideouts. Finney, the lone setback. Blitz and Kramer to Gustafson. First down and driven out of bounds at the 6-yard line. But Tommy Kramer read.
Signed free agent center fielder Bob Dernier. Dernier will be 31 years old next month. He had a career-high 317 with the Cubs last season. Dernier, of course, is a former Philly, a right-handed hitter who played part-time here in 1982 and 83 before being traded to the Cubs.
Yes. Former Phillies player, outfielder Bob Dernier, will be back in a Phillies uniform this spring. Dernier inked a 1-year deal. He started his career with the 1980 Phils. Dernier played 10 games with the World Championship Club. Coming from Chicago, he feels being in the same division helps.
I was hoping I could stay in the National League East because I've been there and I know the league, the pitchers, you know, the whole program. So I was really, you know, I was leaning that way. And since Philly was interested, I said, let's go for it.
Dernier is in. Nothing new yet on Philip Bradley of Seattle. Former Philly Pete Rose told reporters today covering the